I was never bored. I would never be suffering like this. I just want to curl up in a ball and disappear or die. Every day, I wake up disappointed that I didn't perish in my sleep. It's too hard having to go through the rest of your life dead inside with no joy or happiness. And I swear to God, if someone says it gets better, I'm immediately blocking you. I'm not here for that nonsense. The preceding text was written on a subreddit called r/sad. It is dedicated to the sole purpose of expressing sadness, misery, and nihilism. At first glance, these communities may seem of marginal importance to an average person. They're just internet pages after all. And intuitively, the solution seems to be to just not look at or scroll past them. However, it is through pages like these that allows us to masochistically indulge ourselves in self-pain and receive attention and form a community doing so. As humans, we all go through moments of sadness, deriving from experiences such as breakups, fights with loved ones, or stresses of everyday life. As time passes, though, your feeling of melancholy normally stops. You recover in the span of a few days or a few weeks. The thing is, for the people indulge on the saddest parts of the internet, their healing processes are bound to be hijacked by their innate desire to connect with others in a lonely reality, social media algorithms, and other desperately sad people with the same problems. This process starts innocuous enough. We engage in the day-to-day activity of scrolling on social media, and by complete chance, people stumble upon sad posts. They include captions like, "Behind my smile is everything you'll never understand. You left like I was never a reason to stay. It's almost as if I don't exist anymore." As you can see, they depict the most depressing aspects of life and express them in the form of captions. But what is the harm of one single social media post? After all, we come across low quality, harmful content all the time and just brush it off, right? Let's actually consider that these people are already going through tremendous amounts of hardships, and algorithms repeatedly feed them this content to the extent that it fills their entire feed. They're also designed to keep users engaged, often by showing similar content to what they've previously interacted with. For a sad person, this means they're more likely to see more of the same negative content, deepening their despair. It's a vicious cycle where the platform's own design exacerbates the problem itself. To them, all they see, their entire world even, is filled with sadness. I do admit, though, that this wouldn't be so bad if it genuinely helped people. If a community of sad people were to say, able to assist each other get out of sadness. But does this actually happen? First, there are zero constructive comments. Why would there be? These posts are only full of a community of people who are depressed. Why would any of them give any advice on what to do in the first place if they don't even know for themselves? Second, the small amount of optimism, the small amount of hope is overshadowed by pessimism and cynicism. This is due to the fact that optimistic people are outnumbered by its pessimistic counterparts to the point that the one common actually putting an effort into aiding others is berated by hundreds of others saying things like, "You're not sad like us, you wouldn't understand it." An already sad individual comes across these posts, and instead of finding solace or solutions, they find an echo chamber of despair. This constant reinforcement of negative emotions traps them in a cycle that feels inescapable. This phenomenon isn't just a collection of sad posts. It's a dangerous reinforcement of negativity that can prevent effective healing. The impact and conclusion is clear. This turns into a pervasive and destructive cycle. It's not just a minor inconvenience, it's a significant mental health crisis for those affected. The continuous exposure to negative content on social media leads to things like chronic depression, anxiety, and a sense of hopelessness that can be incredibly difficult to break free from. It affects the ability to function in daily life, harm our relationships, and even lead to severe outcomes like self-harm or suicide. So, What can we do about this? How can we break free from this constant cycle of despair? Whenever you come across sad posts, remember this speech. Remember the devastating consequences that may unfold. Remember that nothing positive will come from being stuck only in sadness. Therefore, if you can, stay out of social media. Don't let the root of the problem start and instead seek condolences elsewhere. It can be friends that actually know you and will care about you, your family, those who you're sure will give you that type of positivity you really need. If you can't, that's fine. Instead, actively seek out positive communities and constructive conversations. Social media does have the power to connect us in meaningful ways, but it requires our conscious effort to engage with content that uplifts and supports. Follow pages and people who inspire hope, joy, and growth. Share your struggles, but also share your triumphs. Let's create an environment where positivity can flourish, where a constructive advice is given, and where people can genuinely support each other through their darkest times.